Good morning, beautiful souls. It's me again, Daniela. I am a channel for source consciousness, and I am here to share my knowledge and experiences with you and taking you on my journey of being, just being, and creating what comes to me in the moment, sharing that, and fulfill my purpose. I am a healer and a coach. Can I call it a coach? I used to call myself a coach, but now I was guided, summoned. I was summoned that I should spread my words, not with the few, but with the masses. So here I am. And it's hard for me because I cannot plan. I don't know what's going to happen. I stepped out of my comfort zone of knowing and stepping into knowing. And that's hard for me. So I am showing up as I'm being asked, and I share what I share. And I hope and my intention is always that someone gets something out of the things that I share, even if it's just entertainment. I am glad with that. So, today I wanted to talk to you about something that as yesterday I had a conversation with my son about his journey and what he is up against. And he mentioned that he discovered that he cares more about some things that he assumed he didn't care about. So I told him that he should investigate that and realize and give himself permission that he is allowed to dive deeper and allow himself to be more passionate about what he thought he wasn't passionate about. And we had this conversation about giving yourself permission, and I thought I'm going to share this with you guys today because that was a theme for me too. It's been a theme my whole life about permission to be who you are truly, permission to do what you want to do, what makes you happy, what ignites and excites you. And that I had noticed that for a big part of my life, the largest part of my life, is just something that I have healed through and worked through, I think, the last year. So for my whole life, I was, I noticed, I noticed last year that I made all the sacrifices I had to make. I chose myself. I chose myself, but still, I wasn't doing the things that I liked to do. Still, I was like sitting and waiting for someone to give me permission to finally be myself. And when I noticed that, it was quite shocking and weird because I never noticed that I was waiting for permission. So when it came into my consciousness that I just said, and I was like, you're free. And it's the first time in my life that I'm free. I've been in relationships my entire life. And my first relationship was from 16 to 28. And my second relationship was from 29, sorry, to 41. So I've been in relationships my whole life. And so I've always had to consider others, an other person in my life, or the children, or I had to always set my wants and needs aside to please the other. I never in both relationships could be fully myself. They would just tell me to hide parts of myself. Because I would tell them I'm spiritual, I'm this and that, and then it would be like, yeah, I don't like that. Keep that to yourself. With other words, hide that part of you. And I did, because I wanted the relationships to work. I wanted the happy family, white picket fence, 2.3 children. I wanted it all. But I also knew that they wouldn't stand the test of time. They did stand the test of time. It was about 12 years. But it was because I sacrificed myself to be able to be in that relationship. So when I finally chose myself and was like, no, I can't do this anymore. I have to be myself completely, and especially my spiritual side, because that's who I am. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. I do identify with my physical body, but I knew that's not all that I am. I knew I am way more than this physical body. So I knew there would come a point in my life that I would have to make a choice. Then I would allow myself to become my full self, or I would be staying my limited self, trying to fit into the world and have the idea of a dream that I thought I had, of a family, a loving family, enjoying life as we were taught and supposed to be here and have here. So when I decided to finally choose myself, I was still waiting for permission, because I always had to ask permission to be me. And so when I noticed that I was waiting for permission and that wouldn't come because there was nobody around to give me the permission now, I was waiting. I was just sitting and waiting and then, oh, maybe I want to do this, and don't pull through. Oh, maybe I want to do that. Or maybe like my house, I didn't start decorating my house the way I want to since this year. I didn't notice that I was waiting for someone to give me permission to change the colors of my walls, to change my couch, to because I always had to consider other people. I never had the opportunity to find out what I like and what I want. So when I had this conversation with my son yesterday, I was like, that's a good thing to make a video about and share with my community, with the collective, because maybe you on the other side of this screen is also waiting for someone to give you permission to do you, to be you. And if that is the case, I am telling you and I'm giving you permission right now, but it's not me that has to give you permission. I will tell you to give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to be who and whatever you want to be. No one has the power or is allowed to have the power of you to decide for you what you can and cannot be. That's still your choice. But we are so conditioned in this society that you should put others first and that you should always be there for others and put yourself aside and sacrifice yourself to honor and make the other person happy. But who's going to make you happy? Who is going to put their needs and wants aside to make you happy? Because everybody is here eventually to make themselves happy. Everybody is choosing themselves. So why don't you choose you? It was a long and hard road for me to get to this point that I gave myself permission to be here who I am and what I want to do and how I see things. And now I'm sitting here. Now I'm sitting here sharing this with you. Give yourself permission. If you want to do something, just say it. I give myself permission to do this. And you will feel the change inside of your body. You will feel a reaction inside of your body. And then you will start to move. Because the conditioning is stuck in your body. And to break that conditioning, you have to take charge. You have to reparent yourself. And this reparenting, this healing journey to get to this point where you allow yourself and give yourself permission to be you is a hard one. Because this conditioning runs deep. It runs deep, but it's understandable because it's the system that's been taught about this. We are such powerful beings if you discover who you are, who you really are, who you innately are. They have no control over you. So they had to dumb us down. They have to gaslight us into believing that we are powerless and that we are just here to work, sleep, eat, repeat, and to work on other people's dreams, and that we innately are worthless. And this conditioning runs so deep because it's been going on for thousands of years. The system has been set up this way. The system has been set up this way so they don't have to, they do still do the work to our programming on television, 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 programming you. The programs on that television, the music with subliminals in it that program us, the lyrics. It's called spelling for a reason. They're casting spells on us. We are casting spells on ourselves. We are casting spells on other people. As long as there are words coming out of your mouth, you're casting spells. So you also have to be aware of the words that you speak. Never speak negatively about yourself because your subconscious mind does not know the difference between truth and a lie or a joke. It just takes in everything as truth. So don't speak negatively about yourself. And if you have, like I have, you will know that it's true. The way you speak about yourself is what will be manifested in your reality. The way you think about yourself is what will be manifesting in your reality. They have your they haven't taught us in school that that's how this reality works. No, because they have their agenda and they need you to work for them. Knowledge is power. The people who created the schooling system, the education system, I think it's the Rockefellers. The person who created the education system as we know it today said, I need a nation of workers, not of thinkers. So, what does that mean? What is it that they are teaching you in these schools? They are teaching you how to be an obedient worker, not a thinker. So, if you want to think, you have to go find the knowledge elsewhere than in the schools. You have to go find your knowledge and education elsewhere. You need to question everything that you have been taught about you, about this world, and about life. I've always been a questioner. I always questioned everything because I had this innate feeling inside that I know what is truth. So I would just feel uneasy when lies were being told. And I would just feel and know like that's not the truth. But because I didn't have evidence, tangible evidence about this lie that was being told, I would just stay quiet. Because I could say, sometimes I wouldn't stay quiet. I'm not like, nah, that's not true. That's a lie. And then they would ask me, how do you know? I just know. I feel it in my inside what you just told me is not the truth. Same thing with history. I always felt that's not the truth. I would always ask during history lessons, what's the story of the other side? We're only hearing the story of one side. The people who won. What's the story about for the people of the other side, the ones who lost? It's the winners who tell the stories. It's the conquerors who tell the stories. So history, what you need to know, that everything that they have taught you, told you as truth, as facts, are all subjective. They're all someone else's perspective. The books that you were reading is somebody else's perspective, somebody else's opinions, somebody else's point of view. So everything that you are being told or taught or shown, you need to question, is this true for me? Is this how I see it? Is this how I believe it to be true? And yeah, that's a lot of work. But hey, do you want to live truth? Or do you want to live a lie? Like we all have been living until now. So give yourself permission to question everything. And give yourself permission that if you have another opinion, if your truth is different from the people around you, to stand in your truth. Just believe what's true for you. Do what's true for you. And leave everything else for what it is. See it for what it is and choose how you want to interact, deal, look at it. It's all about you and you discovering what is important to you. I told my son yesterday, I said, forget everything. Everything that me and your father had taught you. Not forget, question. Question everything. What we, your parents, taught you. What school has taught you. What friends has taught you. What family has taught you. Everything. Question everything. Because when I had you, I was 21 years old. I wasn't where I am now. I taught you my truths at that moment. Even they were rebellious at that time also. But it was still conditioned, very deeply conditioned. So I said, question everything, because I didn't know who I was. Your father didn't know who he is. We were both born in families that we were born into and raised in, with their religion, with their thoughts, with their beliefs, and they were conditioned too. So I said this was condition upon conditioning upon conditioning upon conditioning. Past with the fact that I am the generational curse breaker of our family. So I had all these programs and all these trauma and all these wounds of my ancestors inside of me also, coloring the glasses that I'm looking at the world through. So I told them, forget and question everything and test them if they are true for you. And if they are not, discard them and live by your truth. Follow your heart. Follow what excites and ignites you. What makes you feel good. What makes you feel energized. Do that. Even if it doesn't make sense to me, if it doesn't make sense to the people around you, it has to make sense to you. You need to understand why you're doing what you're doing. Nobody else. As long as it makes sense to you, do it. And that same counts for you. Make your choices for you. And maybe you're in a situation right now that you're thinking like, I can't start choosing me. All hell's gonna break loose. They are not going to accept it. My partner is not going to accept it. The children is not going to accept it. My friends are not going to accept it. My family is not going to accept it. My work is not going to accept it. You're thinking about everybody else again, except yourself. Yes, if you're in a conditioned situation right now, where you are living the life that you have been conditioned to live your whole life, I know it's not easy to change things up. But if you want the change, you will have to change things up. You will have to make sacrifices, because your life is built upon a lie. And you have to reverse everything that's based upon the lie. Break the house down because now it's built on a rocky foundation. It's not stable. You need to build your foundation by finding out who you are, what you want, and how you want to live this life. And start making choices. You will have to make sacrifices. And yes, it looks scary, and yes, it will be painful at first, but you will thank yourself in the end. Because we're here now. If you're on this other side of this channel, of the screen, you are here to be an example. To be an example to others that it's possible to live a life that you love, that fulfills you, that fulfills your purpose for why you came here in the first place, and show others that it's possible. It's a long, hard road, but if you are on the other side of the screen, that means that you have been doing the work. If you resonate with me, if I show up on your For You page and you click on this video, it's because you and me are aligning. We are aligning. And it means that you are doing the work or have been doing the work, and that you are ready to step into your power. To take your power back and do what pleases you. You are uniquely and perfectly made as you are. All of you. You just need starting to believe that. And step into your power. And share your magic. Like I'm sharing mine now. It took me a long road. It was hard. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's easy. There were many times that I thought that I would not make it through. But I'm a Scorpio. A real Scorpio. Scorpio to learn through hard and intense experiences. I'm a Phoenix, baby. I went from Scorpion to Eagle to Phoenix. Death is an illusion. I've died many a times, and every time I've risen stronger than before. So I'm not scared of death. I just know I will be coming back stronger and harder than before. And better, much better. So yeah, if it's fear of death which is stopping you, because we all have this innate instinctual fear of death, you ain't gonna die. Your ego gonna die a little bit, because you still need your ego to fill yourself up, but do it in a good way. You got this. 2909 on the timer when I said that. Maybe it's significant for someone, but you got this. I got you. So even if when you think no one is going to understand, no one has my back, no, I have your back. Always. I'm gonna leave it here. If you made it to the end of this video, I would like if you could like and subscribe to my channel. I thank you. Maybe you can share this video with someone who might get something out of it. If not, I thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being on this journey with me. I don't know where it's going, but I trust and surrendered to Source. It always knows best. I'm just here being me, sharing my experiences with you, praying that it at least brings a smile on your face. Thank you. See you in the next one.